is I want to record what we are talking, so I can
Okay.
convert it into a blog.
Okay. Okay.
So it's
Go ahead.
essential that I have, whatever we talk, recorded somewhere.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. So, so you were telling me about, the how you assess impact and for Voice for
Yeah.
Girls. Yeah. Okay.
So we do pre and post assessment of knowledge, attitudes, and perceptions of each child who comes to camp. So we assess her knowledge levels before and what is the change after. We assess what if her attitudes have changed and her perceptions around these issues have changed. So for every camp, we do a KAP assessment.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition, like I was mentioning, we have just started a long-term evaluation where we have taken the baseline survey from 2,300 girls in Telangana, and we've recorded again her knowledge and attitudes and perceptions regarding health, safety, their rights and future planning and self-awareness, and we would be tracking them over a period of the next 2 years to see
Mm-hmm.
if there is a change. So the KAP or assessing the impact is very crucial to our work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. So, Anusha, just one last question. What is your take on, the inequality in India? Do you think that, mindset of people is a contributing factor to this?
Absolutely. We have a completely incompassionate middle class, I would say almost, because,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to cut ourselves away from poverty. We have so many people living under desperate conditions, injustice and inequality, but we are in the lifestyle. But also, especially when, I've realized that when it comes to things like gender, it goes across caste and class, and gender in discrimination and patriarchy is so ingrained regardless of where you come from. But we have totally like cocooned ourselves, and we are happy doing Karwa Chauth, and I think we've just regressed so much more, especially in terms of women's right. I remember that women of the generation just before me actually were thinking about bringing more women in the participation, standing up against patriarchy and culture that this totally slaves a woman to just being at home or be submissive.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've regressed back, and this generation is thinking about how do I have a 7-day wedding, how do I do photo shoots for my. I'm not saying these are all wrong things, but are you questioning what you're doing? Are you even aware of what you're doing? You're doing a Karwa Chauth? It's great, it's a tradition, but do you know why you're doing this, and what was the significance and why? So I think in certain senses we've regressed,
And, and
and a
people
number
are
of.
more about, proving that, you belong to this culture and okay, fine, I'm doing, and people need to know. They don't need to know.
Absolutely. In addition, it's also about this alarming rate of educated women
Mm-hmm.
who are married and are at home. I
Correct.
mean, then what is there is a huge incongruency to the number of the literacy going up, but actually employability of women going down because they are not working. So how do we sort of like as a country want to move forward when this incongruency is there, right?
Yeah.
So there's India is just full of contradictions.
That it is. I agree with that because I mean I wouldn't mind telling you, but the lady, the girl staying, the floor below my house, uh,
Mm-hmm.
she's undergoing a divorce process. She's got two kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for divorce is, because her husband was violent towards her. I
My
asked,
God.
if you knew your husband was like this, why did he in the first place did you opt for two kids?
Mm-hmm.
And now she's living with her parents. She's not been working for the last 3 years. She's
Mm-hmm.
separated from her husband. She's not working for the last 3 years, and she has done nothing apart from a call center job for a year. That's all. And now she comes up to me and she says, help me find a part-time job just in the radius of 5 kilometers. I said, how is that possible? You just don't want to
No,
go out of your comfort zone.
yeah.
Fine, there are two kids. You have a maid whole day at your house, you have your parents, you have your brother, you have another maid to look after your children. Why aren't you taking some risk and doing something for yourself? Take up a new course or
Mm-hmm.
do
No, I
something.
think we're also not. That's true, Nidhi. But also, I mean, in most cases like this, and in fact, recently I have another case that's come up where, this is happening with women who aren't married and are totally enslaved. So they're highly educated. They go there to do their man who's working in the US. But the minute they get married and have children, they're forced to just stay at home and take care of things at home. And then a decade goes by, and in good cases, they are not abused or not having an abusive relationship. But in bad cases, they have no idea what to do with their life once the children are off. But they're highly educated, so they're best of the brains that go to do their MS, and the best of the brains that finish MS and have great potential to contribute economically. So, but what happens to them? But it most times, even when they know it is an abusive relationship, there are a lot of things that bind them to that. There is all of this, like, honor of the family riding on the woman's shoulders. There's a lot around just that this girl does not have access to contraception or say in that process, right? So if this woman has gone ahead and had two kids, one, she has no idea about marital rape, or that her consent has to be taken before sex, and even if she enjoyed the pleasure of having sex, she may not have had a choice in family planning,
True.
or access to family planning. So sometimes children happen because they have no say in that process. But also, women continue to be in abusive relationships because they don't see an out from this. This girl has been very lucky that she's able to come back to her parental home and get support, but in many cases she has no choice, and she has no financial like skills to pick up a job. And I know people who are continuing to stay in abusive relationship because they don't see an out
No,
you know
Anusha, and she was living in Bangalore with her husband. They were just living separately, not even with her in-laws. And
mhm.
he would go to work, she would sit at home. I'm like, why?
That's true. But they also have that reluctance to, like, sometimes we definitely don't prepare our women to, be able to go. This 5 kilometer radius is all also a product of that thinking, that I am scared of going, or I don't want to. Like, why should I? A lot of women actually even like, come back to say, I'm lucky I don't have to work because my husband can fend for us,
Yeah,
without understanding, power and control and finances and decision making. All of these are so interwoven. Even if it is a healthy marriage, having access to financial